Hello, HCC community, and welcome to today's Meet a Member Live. We have Audrey here with us, and I'm just going to read a little bit about her before we get started. Audrey is the CEO and founder of Match Me Partners, which is a nationwide real estate agent referral firm. Who would have thought? She takes great pride in bringing her considerable discernment skills to the table by seeking, vetting, and referring the very best real estate agents to her clients. So if you are buying/selling a home, this is a great segment for you to watch today. Thanks, Audrey, for being with us today. I would love to open with why someone might need a real estate agency referral service.
Yes, thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate that kind introduction and looking forward to getting into all of this great stuff. So yes, so why? Why would someone need a real estate agent referral service? I mean, everybody knows a realtor, Laura. Everybody.
I know, they're everywhere in networking events.
Believe me, I get it. Not to make this about me, but I was a full-time real estate agent for 9 years, operating at a high level. So I get it. Competition is fierce. Real estate agents are everywhere. And many of them are good, and many of them have just started. Many of them also are not quite sure what they're doing yet. So I'm not about putting down other realtors because I was a realtor for a long time. So I get the struggle, I get the competition. But I also get the sense, and I know that there are some that are just great, and some of them that are just okay. It's all good. Everyone's learning. That stated, sometimes you don't need a realtor for yourself. Perhaps you have an elderly loved one who lives 3 states away from you, and you want them to join an assisted living community, but you have to help them sell their house in 3 states away. Let's say you live in Pennsylvania and they're in Nebraska, and you need to help that elderly loved one find a realtor. Well, it's enough work with that life change for that senior loved one. You need to find a great realtor in Nebraska. You don't know anyone out there. And it's important that your elderly loved one has good service. So at Match Me Partners, that's really where we live. We work best when someone calls us and says, I need to find a realtor. I need to help a loved one, or I'm moving out to St. Louis, Missouri. I don't know any real estate agents out there, and our move is kind of tricky. So I need a good one, but I don't know any of them. And from where I sit, it's hard to know who's who. So that's why they would need a real estate agent referral firm. Again, you don't need them every time. If your best friend is a great realtor, fantastic. I'm all about loyalty. If you love your realtor, use them again and again. I'm all about loyalty. I never step on toes. However, if you are in the dark, in whatever situation you're in, and you need to find a great realtor somewhere else than in your community, Match Me Partners really shines. And again, I'm qualified to do this because I did this for around 9 years. So I know the telltales of the good ones. I'm a broker and I can find them. Also, sometimes people going through a personal situation. I work with a nationwide divorce firm, and oftentimes the divorcing couple, they need to liquidate their real estate assets. This is a very sensitive subject, but I'm throwing it out there as an example of, well, the husband has his favorite realtor and she has her favorite realtor, and you got to agree on a neutral party. Match Me Partners steps in and says, let us not rock any boats. Let Match Me Partners find a terrific real estate agent for this very job. So that's another way that Match Me Partners works. When neutrality is needed, or when time and distance are hard for you to find a real estate agent because you just don't know any realtors there. Those are just a couple of the examples of how Match Me Partners steps in and provides outstanding service. So I hope that answers the question. There's so much, I could talk all day, Laura, but I hope that answers the question a little bit for the viewers out there.
Yeah, it does. And I was just thinking, what are the implications of like personality style in like market trends? So, for example, my husband and I just bought a house in this crazy market, and we knew we needed an agent that was a go-getter and that could easily work with us because he travels and, like with our schedule. And fortunately, we did know somebody, but I would think, maybe the people that they're lovely individuals, but maybe they may not be the right personality for what you are looking for.
Yeah. So I had a great mentorship with one of the top realtors where in my community where I worked, and she always said that oftentimes people treat their friends and family as like, they love me, they'll use me as their agent, they know I'll do a good job. And she always said to me, those are the people that you give 150% effort towards, because they're your friends, they're your loved ones. And many realtors over time do shy away from working with friends and family because it's a tough and hard scrabble industry. And it has happened to me, unfortunately, a time or two where there's a lot of tension involved when you work with friends and family. That doesn't mean that you don't have an open conversation with that friend and say, do you want to do this, or should we just remain friends? This is a business transaction. I love you as a friend. I love you as my cousin. Perhaps should I try something different? I don't want to step on our relationship at all. And let that agent give a full-throated response to that. That stated, it is the number one business transaction personally you'll ever do. And it is important to have a third party vet them. And that's really what Match Me Partners does. As far as personality goes, at Match Me Partners, we have a 15-minute intake conversation with you and say, Laura, tell me about you and your husband. Your husband travels on business. Okay, sounds like you and I are going to be doing a lot of work together and maybe FaceTiming him, et cetera. Mm-hmm. How should we communicate with the two of you? What's comfortable? All that conversation gets brought into an intake form, and then we find the right person with the right communication style. But we only work with top performing agents. We don't work with agents who just got their license last week and they're nice. Mm-hmm. We work with people who produce, who make transactions happen.
Okay, so some people that might be watching this and they might be reaching out to you. I see you already have somebody that's like, hey, I want to chat. Yeah. That's great. But I'm glad you kind of said that, because you are looking for those agents that have experience, yeah. That already have their niche, their style, so that you can, have enough information about them to appropriately match them with yes. somebody else.
Yes, yeah. Indeed. Yeah. Yeah. And again, I just know, I know agents, I know buyers, I know sellers, I know what the little pitfalls that can happen when those things don't align properly.
Right. So how did you get this idea? Because I didn't even know that this was a thing. And when we were setting this up, I was like, oh, dang, that's kind of cool. We've moved several times and we're like, we don't know anybody here. We need a place to rent. How did you come up with this?
Yeah, so sure. That's my favorite question. So I won't bore your viewers or your listeners, but as I said, I was a full-time real estate agent for the better part of 9 years. And then around the 9th year, I started thinking I really want to do something different. I know I'm good at this, and I was good at it. I operated at a high level. I know I'm good at this, but I don't know if I want to do this the rest of my life. My boys are about to go into college. I want to spend more time with them. All the things that we as realtors do when we want to move on to something else. We have those thoughts. So then one day I received a call from a client of mine, and they said, Audrey, thank you for your help. Sold our house, all that. Our daughter needs to purchase a home in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Would you be kind enough to help our daughter? And my response was, that's very nice, but unfortunately, I do not have my Pennsylvania real estate license. But give me 24 hours and I will find a top performing available real estate agent, and I will refer your daughter to that agent. So within 24 hours, I found their daughter, Suzanne. I found Suzanne a great realtor in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And now here's what's important. There's nothing new under the sun here, Laura. If you are a real estate agent and you're unwilling or unable to help a client, you really ought to refer it to another agent. Don't leave your client in the lurch. Find another agent that will do a great job for them. So that's what I did. Again, nothing new under the sun. But then I started to realize, wait a second, maybe this could be all that I do. And that's where Match Me Partners was started. I thought, I'll just lead generate at a high level. And whenever I secure a client, I will professionally refer them to another great realtor wherever they need in all 50 states. So that's really where it came up with. I was towards the end of my real estate career. I wanted to change. And then I got this idea from a random call from a former client. So it's all about seeking buyers and sellers and establishing trust, which is what's so nice about being an HCC. You know, we are all kind of pulling in the same direction. So I really love being with this group, and I've been warmly received. But that's really where the idea came from, Laura. Again, there's nothing new under the sun as to what I do, but it's all that Match Me Partners does. It's it. That's all we do. I haven't opened a lockbox or written up a contract in 3.5 years. And that's how I like it.
Well, I can tell that you're a natural connector because not everybody has that as like their primary strength. So in order to run any kind of matchmaking industry, it's like matchmaking, but you're not finding love. You're finding, well, maybe you are, you're finding love with your real estate agent, not in a romantic sense, but yay, they're awesome sense.
That's right. Yeah.
But, you know, I can tell you're a strong connector because it's just about bringing people together. And I think that this is such an amazing concept because you're right. You just don't realize this happened and I'm not even local, you know, to this person, and I got to figure it out. And this is stressful enough as is. So I can totally see the benefits of what you're doing here. So you mentioned that you had a conversation, like if someone was interested, you could have a conversation with you. I am going to post your Calendly link here, but just kind of talk about what that is.
Yeah, so I find that there's nothing that replaces actual communication with people. So there are a lot of real estate firms out of there that do everything automatically and automatic, and everything's AI driven, et cetera. Match Me Partners, in its backbone, is personal connections. So I put together for Match Me Partners, we have a specialized Calendly link for HCC members that it's 15 minutes. And if somebody wants to support HCC or is an HCC member, they can use that Calendly link to book 15 minutes with me. That's all. We're not going to become best friends for life, but we're going to talk about what's going on, what you need, and the timeline. And that's really an intake conversation, 15 minutes of intake. What do you need? Okay, you're selling in Boston and you're moving to Charlotte. Good for you. Fantastic. Let's see what you need. What's the timing? Here's the thing. I find them real estate agents on both ends. If needed, again, in this conversation, maybe they have a wonderful realtor that they love in Boston. Beautiful. But let me find you the agent in Charlotte. Additionally, in this conversation, I tell them about Match Me Partners has also in its DNA, we receive a referral fee. So this is how we make money. So we refer a client to a real estate agent and they send us a 25% referral. I'm very transparent about that, about how Match Me Partners makes money. We don't charge the buyer or seller. It's broker to broker. So I receive a referral fee. And from that referral fee, automatically, we put aside a donation of either $250, $500, or $1,000 to the charity of choice of the person who uses our services. Both sides of the transaction means we give 2 donations. And for HCC, I understand that one of the sponsoring charities for HCC is the Holistic Education Foundation. So our default for HCC members is supporting that foundation. We love the vision of it, heard about it from Camille. So that's great stuff. So that's our default. However, to be clear, anybody can name a charity that they love, but our default is the Education Foundation, the Holistic Education Foundation, just putting that out there. We'd love to raise money for them. But if you have something that's deep in your heart, the Alzheimer's Association, Autism Speaks, diabetes, whatever it is, we're flexible. But we do give a donation with every single referral check we receive. It's part of the DNA.
Wow, that's amazing. I love this concept of like giving back, and I'm very passionate about animal welfare. So like when I'm giving back from my business, it's always going to one kind of, animal rescue or another. But I think that's so important. It's a motivator to work with people because you're also supporting a good cause. But I also love how you're transparent with how you get paid so that people don't worry about it. Like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to pay you? Because that could be a concern, now on top of all this, I have to pay this referring agent.
Right.
So that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time today. So I really want to thank you for coming on. If you are watching this and you are needing an agent, And maybe even in your area, you know some people, but you're just not 100% sure. There is no risk in reaching out to Audrey and just having a conversation. You might be surprised, maybe she has like the perfect person for you where now you actually feel it's going to click.
Absolutely.
So thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Audrey, for being here today.
It's my pleasure, and thanks to all your listeners and watchers.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.